There is pleasure in the pathless woods. When I first read that, I thought it says there was pleasure in the pantless woods.
There is pleasure in the pantless woods. What are you reading over there?
It was a description.
The pathless woods?
Pathless woods. There's a pleasure in the pathless woods, which I think is really just not all who wander are lost. You know, it's almost like a Tolkien reference.
I'm pretty Tolkien on that. All right, you guys are watching the second best show on the internet behind the first best show, which we haven't created yet.
Actually, what we found out is that the first best show is actually the 8th worst show. It's pretty bad.
How does that work?
I don't know, because you don't really think about what's on the internet. Porn is on the internet. Porn's all over the internet.
Not for long. Donald Trump will solve that. We'll tell you that story in just a minute.
But now, a message from our sponsor, Squarespace.
Need a website? Let's check out Squarespace. The whole idea with Squarespace is elegant and clean. There's no flashy menus and stuff like that. I mean, you can have it if you want, but really it's all about putting your content forward. Squarespace will also help you buy your domain name now, so you can just pay for everything with one transaction. You just type your domain name, it automatically fills out everything and lets you know what is available. You can load more. There's a lot of different options here, so go ahead and grab your domain name. Then you can build your website. You can start with just websites, $12 a month. There's plenty of templates available here, and all these templates put the content forward. You can also get down to business with e-commerce. Their websites are integrated with Stripe and also ShipStation, so this is really a powerful e-commerce solution. For bands and artists, they have great portfolio websites. They integrate with services like Bandcamp. One of the other things that's pretty interesting is you're not actually limited to these templates. You can start with a template and make a website that's really cool, but if you want to get nerdy, you have full Git access, so you can pretty much create anything you want. We use Squarespace for our store, and I could not be happier. It's very easy to set up different items, variants, and the layout is clean, so our content is what really matters. Thanks to the Git access, all the templates, all the features, you can really use Squarespace to build a website for anything. Head over to squarespace.com/TechSyndicate, and when you're checking out, use coupon code TechSyndicate to save a little money. Hey, we use Squarespace.
We do.
And you know something? That advertisement was damned good.
It is.
Because I actually believe in the product, and if you don't like it, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going there again.
No, seriously though, I like Squarespace. It was actually really, really helpful when we first got that thing set up. And Epic Pants, it runs on Squarespace. It was amazing. I liked it. I like it a lot. I'm not paid to say this.
I like avocados, and this guy is a wizard. This is the most important story of the day as far as technology goes. So this Australian-based company called Naturo Technologies, not Naruto, and these are they're not going to be going by Naturo tards or anything like that. That's not what they want to do. Maybe Naturo tarts if they figure out a way to make avocado tarts. Shit, I'm awful today. So anyway, they've created a way to put the avocados. You have to open them up. And you put them through this machine, and they do a process with a little bit of, let's say there's something that stops the enzyme from making it brown. Because avocados are bananas. Did you know that avocados are bananas? Not literally, but they are bananas in a very, I guess, what's a metaphor or a simile, right? Avocados are bananas. That's a metaphor, right?
That is technically a metaphor.
Yeah, so avocados are bananas. And I don't mean like they're crazy, man. Avocados are crazy. I mean avocados are bananas because there's only 20 minutes where a banana is perfect. And all the rest of the time you have to wait. And the banana is you take a bite and it's I'm all green and ugly. And ugh. It tastes, you can taste ugliness in your mouth. It's ugliness. There's too much ugliness in the world, and I don't want it in my bananas.
I like ugly bananas.
And then the bananas, you get one or two little spots on them. And then it's you eat it. There's 15 minutes in which they are perfect. And you eat the banana. That's it. And then after that, the banana's mushy and just overly ripe and it's ugliness in your mouth again.
That's when you turn it into banana bread.
Yes. But if you want to put it in your mouth, if you want to put the banana in your mouth and then make eye contact with strangers, you should do that. But there's only 15 minutes in which you can do that. Now, avocados are bananas because they are the same. You buy them, and they're more expensive than bananas. They're $40 each.
But they're amazing and green.
They're used for currency in Africa. But there's only 20 minutes in which you can eat an avocado. After that, it is all rotten on the inside, and you have to pick around it, and you get it on your fingers, and if you're prissy, you go, ew, and you throw it in the garbage.
And that's when you make guacamole.
But if you just want to eat the damn thing, you're going to need Natavo's thing.
I think it's actually supposed to be Naturo.
Natavo?
Oh, no. Natavo?
I don't know.
Natavo Zero. But, I think the company is supposed to be Naturo. Nature, Well,
they're doing something that they say it's natural. There's doing something with steam and pressure and all this stuff. And they got this giant machine here, and then it'll let the avocado be green for up to 10 days. It suppresses the enzyme that makes it brown. That's the kind of science that is making headlines these days.
That
And
I would
I'm
love
making
to
a
go.
big deal out
I would
of.
love to go to that factory and see what they're doing, because that just sounds awesome to me. And that weird. Would this be considered a GMO kind of thing? I don't know.
If you're feeling envious and you go through this machine, you will be envious for 10 days. God, this is a terrible episode. We've already talked about avocados, which is like stuff people are like, okay, is there going to be any real news? I promise you there's no real news in this episode. Yes, there is. Where's Wendell? Instagram takes a page from Snapchat. So now there's stories on Instagram. So Facebook and Instagram, I guess Instagram's, I mean Facebook and Instagram. Facebook owns Instagram. Then there's Snapchat and all this stuff. And I'm just doing this article so kids will watch this show.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go onto this moment when I read this thing. When I read this article and it was talking about this. There's been a war between Instagram and Snapchat, and the only thing I thought of was, when the hell did the New York Times get so bloody edgy?
I'm Snapchatting this.
You'll see this on the Tech, and then you'll see it on the Tech, and you'll be confused. It'll be so confusing, and confusing more so. And
Technology!
That's Snapchat. I'm gonna do an Instagram story. No, I'm not. I don't really care. I don't understand the whole. Why is there a war between these? Are you gonna do it again?
Yeah, because I fucked it up.
He screwed it up, man. Big time.
So I turned it around like this. I bumped something. Like this enough. Yep, there it goes. Let's go into my story, guys. And I put it in my memory, so in case you don't join for the next 24 hours, you can like watch it. It's like, what the hell's that?
Yeah, what kind of crap I don't even want to know. I don't want to
You're
know.
from North Cal?
I don't want to know the kind
I was
of
watching
stuff
an
you have on your
advertisement.
Snapchat. I don't want to know what's on your Snapchat. I don't.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, I don't.
I call it Snatch Chat.
I'm going to be there 2 days tomorrow, and it's going to be, not there anymore. I have no idea what's on your Snapchat.
So anyway, Instagram wants to be Snapchat is the bottom line here, and they've been trying to buy Snapchat, and Snapchat's like shoved up your ass Facebook, and now they're going to try to be Snapchat. So let's move on to something more interesting, like China's ridiculous straddling bus. It's actually a thing. They're putting it into use in Qinghangdao.
Qinghanglu? Qinghangdao? Qinghangdao. Qin. I'm saying it wrong, but I'm definitely saying it better than this guy.
How many white guys does it take to do this?
It's small text, so I gotta get up there, but I think it's Qinhuangdao. That's my statement. All the people out there who is like, oh, that's good, but you're still a white boy. Still American.
Qinhuangdao.
Qinhuangdao.
QIN is Qing.
Well, the Q is
Qing,
QI is
Qing,
Qi.
Yeah.
So Qin. Huang.
This is awful. So anyway, they got this bus here that
I'm gonna get a phone call from my old coworker in New York, and he's gonna be like, he's just gonna say it and then hang up on me, and I'm just gonna facepalm him and be like,
and I'm not gonna be welcome back into somebody's house.
But this is actually a really brilliant idea. I mean, imagine driving down the road and you're like, I don't remember them having an overpass here, and you just drive underneath the bus.
Yeah, and then you're like, wait a minute, the overpass is staying with me. What's happening? I'm in some sort of nightmare world. So this thing is kind of on a track, like first thing I saw was like, well, that's weird. It's just going to drive on the road. What if this thing decides to make a turn while there's cars under there? I was like, oh, it's on sort of a track on sort of rails.
I was more interested in the idea of what happens if it gets a flat tire. That was my first thought. I'm like, what happens if this thing gets a flat tire?
You'd have to get a lot of flat tires for anything to happen, because there's a lot of tires in this thing.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's just, I think it's neat. I think it's a neat idea. Especially if it's going to be on a track, it's going to be above underground. So it means that it doesn't, unless it's crossing an intersection, it's not really going to be impeding traffic. What if it operated intermittently with like the stoplights? So it would pull up into an intersection and stop, and then everybody could keep going this way, and then it would keep going, and another one would come the other direction.
It has lights on the back of it. I want to drive under one of these things. It'd be interesting.
Maybe they should put like electric car charging stations underneath it, so you can just pull up along underneath it, like have a.
So it's like F-Zero, but like.
Well, yeah, like F-Zero, or more accurately, I was thinking like a in-flight refueling for some of the bigger aircraft, where it's just like plugs into your car, and then you put it into auto drive, or it just stays with the thing. You pop it into neutral, and it just goes with the bus. Now that would suck, because what happens if you get a flat tire while you're stuck to this thing charging your car? I mean.
No. It needs to be a giant chi charging unit, you know. And then in the tracks there, they can have sort of a something being conducted there, and then it'll be like the chi technology on your phone.
Oh, so you mean it's like wireless charging?
Yeah.
So then you'd have a series of like Tesla
super
coils.
Strong. Yeah.
A series of Tesla coils sticking out underneath this bus. You
drive through the lightning storms.
Charge it. That would be more like F-Zero.
It needs to make the noise. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Imagine if having like a bunch of Tesla coils all playing music at the same time. So you get in there, not only do you know your car is charging, but also you get a soundtrack.
Is that called tessellation? This is awful today. Oh, this is not creepy in the least.
They say it's a creepy robot, but the only reason it's creepy is because its movements are all kind of like...
It's a robot that's... they say it's teaching itself to sing, and that's a misleading headline because it's a neural net computer, a learning machine. And it's pulling its ideas from the neural net. It's not actually thinking on its own or anything like that. It's not like coming up with ways to sing, but it's just matching almost random arm movements with singing, and it's freaking crazy to look at.
Yeah, I mean,
the way it sounds is very interesting. So you guys at home, I mean, I guess I could go ahead and I'll give you guys a sample of what it sounds like or something. Where's the audio on this thing?
That one.
There's a YouTube video down there somewhere. I'll play this one. It sounds weird. Oh, I don't have any internet. Oh, sorry guys, no internet.
Just click on the link in the description.
There's no internet in the office yet. I've been using this little guy right here, which is giving me like 30 megabits, but right now its battery's a bit low, so terribly sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right, next article here.
This is really cool. So they've Boeing's got the new airship that they've got. One of the concerns was what happens when the airship gets holes, and so they created these things. They call them spiders. It's two robots that are attached to each other via a magnetic. They're magnets that are holding it together, and it just travels.
Yeah, one on the inside, one on the outside.
Yeah, I'm on the inside of the airship and the balloon part of it, and it just travels around the inside of travels around the airship, and it acts like a Roomba for holes. So it's got the on the outside's got like light, and as it passes over a hole, it goes, oh look, there is a hole in the fabric, and then it puts a patch on it and keeps going. And there's gonna be like 8 or 9 of these things just running all over the place because it's really hard. Even if you were, humans can't do this because if you go inside the aircraft, it's all helium, so you'd have to wear oxygen because otherwise you would die. I know you'd sound really funny for about 10 seconds, but you would die from oxygen starvation. So you have to wear gas. You have to wear an oxygen mask. But you can't reach like the ceiling. It's so high in the inside of it that you can't reach the ceiling.
Humans can't get up there.
Humans just say, so screw it. Let the robots do it. And they can do it in flight. So while it's flying around, it's got these robots on it.
It'd perpetually be in flight. Maybe if you have enough helium and it doesn't, there's no leaks and whatnot.
Yeah. Might be pretty awesome.
Pretty interesting. All right, so this next article is about anti-aging. I guess you could classify me as an anti-aging light enthusiast. I'm always like looking for ways to improve the quality of life throughout, the duration of life. There's a lot of things out there that are like, oh, this will make you live longer, but guess what? You're going to live until 110, but from 60 to 110, you're going to have the same problems that you'd have normally at 60, but now you're just going to be alive a lot longer, so you'll be decrepit much longer. So I'm always looking for ways to rejuvenate, and that sort of thing, and just to eat healthy and whatnot, and move around a little bit. That's the main thing. But there are some other things you can do. Peter Thiel, billionaire, one of the guys behind PayPal, I believe is what it is, right? Donald Trump supporter. How about that? Anyway, he's got an idea here, and this is a very recent study where they took some old rats, and they almost accidentally, they weren't even really trying to do this, but they were sort of a eureka moment where they realized that using the young blood from young rats and infusing that into the older rats made the rats have, I guess, more time on Earth, so they were living longer, but they also had a higher quality of life. So the key there was something about the blood, just young blood. So Peter Thiel was
they were trying to figure out if it was reinvigorating certain stimuli in the system that it was causing effects of the effects of aging, and things slowly stopping working, things that start to stop working. My God, my English today is terrible. It stopped those and reversed some in others, and it was kind of I just want to say, they say it's permanent, but it's that the effects were there, and it's like if you just reset like 10 years, suddenly you keep going, and you'll have another 10 years before you're back to the state you were before you got this infusion. This reminds me of a series of a whole lot of science fiction related everything, in the idea that we're taking a bunch of young people and turning them into blood farms. I mean, there's a whole level of scary what ifs on this.
You know something really funny?
I'm not even trying to be conspiracy. It's like this is with when you look at how we treat anything like this, from everything from livestock to farms with plants. We try to find the most efficient way to mass produce this kind of stuff. So either we're going to have to like completely reinvigorate like a stem cell thing to where we're just constantly growing new and fresh blood, or you're going to have all of these young people getting like drained to give to old people, which sounds very vampiric in itself. So I'm like, this
Vampire Club.
This is flat out, vampire science. Oh, this is
so. There's a company that's doing this right now, and get the name of the company here. If anybody's played Deus Ex, they'll immediately know this. Part 1, by the way, Deus Ex Part 1, Ambrosia.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's where this sounds like it's from.
The Ambrosia virus.
Yeah.
Who's got the Ambrosia vaccine? I don't even know. So, a company in Ambrosia, which is in Monterey, California, just south, I believe, of San Francisco. They are doing something called the Young Donor Plasma Transfusion and Age-Related Biomakers, whatever. That's the title of the trial. Biomarkers? Yeah, markers, not makers. Anyway, what they're doing, they're taking people who are over 35 and healthy, and they're giving them transfusions for people who are under 25 and healthy. It's participant funded, meaning if you want to go do it, you got to pay $8,000, and then you'll get some young dude's blood or some young girl's blood injected into you, probably a mixture of bloods, and then there you go. So.
This doesn't creep me out at all. Hi, are you over the age of 35? Would you like to live longer, feel younger? Come on down. For $8,000, we will make you young again.
All we need is the sacrificial young people. So I was at Barista today. That's a local coffee shop here, and I'm just reading these articles and sitting there drinking coffee, and I'm joking around with the guy behind he's back there tamping and all that crap that they do. And we're just joking around about some stuff, and like, I get up, I'm ready to go. And so him and a few of the people back there, I've noticed they were making some off-color jokes and stuff. And I was like, I got one for you guys. I was like, if you could live longer, would you accept transfusions from young donors, like blood transfusions? And, the girl was like, I don't think so. That's just weird, like having transfusions from younger people. That just seems weird. And the guy looks over and he's like, I would do it if it was guaranteed that I'd be sucking 100% of the blood out of a young person. He's like, only if it was 100% of their blood. And I was like, are you a metalhead? And he's like, fuck yes. I was like, all right.
All right then.
We started
I
laughing.
must kill someone to live longer.
But then that made me think. Like, what if these trials, right, they happen, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, these people are 35, they're now 45, 10 years later, and they still look 35. Maybe they even look 33 now, but even though they're 35. So, we joke around about, like, people stealing, what is your liver, your pancreas, what's the...
Kidneys?
Kidneys, that's it. What about people grabbing people and just sucking the blood out of them so that they can live longer? You know what I mean? Like, and doing this illegitimately, or like, what if there's like a black market for young people blood, and they just do it recklessly? They just steal people, test them, make sure they don't have any diseases really quick, and then just suck the blood out of them and throw them in a ditch.
We will
like,
not be held responsible for the actions of crazy people who decide to take these ideas and run with them.
I mean, that's another. Every time we do an episode like this, we end up with an interesting idea for a movie or something. But I want to know out there from you guys: would you guys accept blood from younger donors if it was going to make you live longer? Number one, and then like, what do you think? I mean, is there potential that some of the the billionaire class and the some of the freaking czars and sultans and just the the 1% of the top 1% of the top 1% of the top 1%? What if those guys out there like start going to the black market to buy the highest quality young blood?
What if this would turn into like maybe there'd be like a relationship dichotomy at some point? You get this old rich person, and suddenly you get this young person getting this donating the blood. What happens when they get too old and suddenly you're like, I'm sorry, my dear, you are now too old to give me blood. I must trade you in for a younger model.
Man, vampire covens are gonna go crazy over this. But you can't drink. You don't drink it. You got to infuse it.
It's got to be an infusion. Yeah, you're drinking. It's not going to work.
So don't refuse your infusion.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I want to know what you guys think about it. The likely thing is that it'll be like I guess sperm and egg donors, where like the you pay a high price for it, and then you go get it. Maybe that's what
I
will
wonder.
happen.
I wonder if
people donate and they get money.
Like right now, we have a whole lot of like blood donations. People are like save lives, blood donations. But what if we get to a point where it's going to be, feel younger, and there are people, say it's costs like.
Are you under 25 and healthy? Donate blood and make money.
Yeah, and then you're going to have the older folks who are coming in to get the infusions are paying like 2 to 3 times what they're paying out to the young child. The child. That's the thing. Is like we're talking about children here. Think of the children.
Who knows like how this is going to work? But I mean how it's going to work once it's in practice. But I think it actually might rejuvenate some of the older people. I think that's what'll happen. I mean, it happened in rats. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure we're different than rats. But anyway, guys, go buy stuff. Shirt of the month. Skulls. Shit. I clicked on it. Shouldn't have done that. Well, I've messed up. Anyway, right. So this skull shirt of the month right here. John was like, hey, I made this little skull thing. So John had someone make this, put it together. It's got PCB on it. It looks pretty cool.
Is that the same design that came off the mouse pad?
Yeah, so it's our mouse pad put on there with the Tek Syndicate logo and all that stuff. And he's like, what do you think about skulls? Think your audience likes skulls? And I was like, I don't know. Do you guys like skulls? We'll find out.
I do. Well, I'll wear it.
Yeah, I mean, who wants a skull shirt? I mean, even if it's not Tek Syndicate, it's still a skull on a shirt. Do you guys like skulls? We'll find out if you guys like skulls. Anyway, a bunch of other stuff here. Mouse pads are still going really, really well. And, hey, I want to mention someone in our forum. I think they're from Australia, posted the Tek Syndicate has really good stuff. And it was basically a little mini review of our mouse pad. And he got rid of his Razer mouse pad and said that this one was way higher quality and had a better glide, felt nicer to the touch, different surface. I know Razer makes plenty of different mouse pads, and some are made in the same factory that we made ours in.
Which means that he's lying.
Nah, he might have had a different one that had just a rougher texture or something different like that. But, hey, our mouse pads...
They're not bad. That's the real point.
Not they're not bad. They won. Joker did a test with a whole bunch of different mouse pads, and ours won the tracking test.
That's true.
Because we went over there and we played with these damn things. We went to freaking China ourselves and looked at the factories and played with these things. So the products that you get are not just some junk that we've like slapped our name on. So that's the ad for the store. Go buy stuff at Epic Pants, guys. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, what's up next? Hey, 8K TV broadcasts happening in Rio.
Fantastic. Who's got an 8K television?
Nobody. And the only way you can watch these are by going to an 8K theater, and there's a couple of those in Japan right now because they don't even have the infrastructure in place to watch 8K TVs. But this company
here... The broadcast is there. No, they're not... Okay, so here's the nice part about this, is that not only is it being broadcast in 8K, that means that as it gets received, as long as you can receive it and receive the entire signal from the grandiose, happy digital functionality of it, it will downscale really well for 4K broadcast. The other nice part about this is, like, if I had 4 4K monitors and put them together, you could broadcast all over them, but you'd have to have really decent internet, like really decent and fast, low latency internet to do that. I'm
impressed with this company, NHK, because they've developed most of this technology themselves. They developed the cameras, the lenses, pretty much all of it, and they're using H.265 as far as encoding goes because they'll be shooting this over satellite. They need it to be, crunched down. So H.265 is going to allow them. They'll probably do like 50, somewhere. They say here somewhere between 50 and 200 megabits per second, which is not a lot for HK, but it's not. It's pretty good. I mean, 200 megabits a second should look pretty good.
What I think is really hilarious is you look at the graph on that page there, and it really seems like it was just yesterday. Don't click on it.
I'm not going to click on anything. I'm not doing it.
It seems like only yesterday that the big thing that was 8K there was actually 1080p, and they were showing us, like 720 and 640 by 480, or just the regular by
768, whatever the hell that was.
All the monitor resolutions, and now it's just like bam. And you look at the very bottom corner of that, and a small SD.
1080p? Oh, that's SD, yeah. Then I didn't even see SD. I've got these glasses on. Whoa! See, we're both wearing these glasses today, so we're trying out these new lights, and it's very bright in here. I'm like, hey, no
these
more.
These are
headaches.
worse than normal. I'm gonna have to get extra level. I'm gonna have to.
They're super glowy though.
I'm gonna have to turn down the light receptors in my eyes.
See if I can handle it. We'll try for a minute. It's very nice with the sunglasses on, but so one thing that's interesting about this is I think it'll help push H.265, which is awesome. YouTube, will you freaking support it already? Tried to upload something in H.265 the other day, and it was like it got all the way done, and it was like, sorry, not supported format. And I was like, what? I mean,
come on, freaking Google, for crying out loud.
Vimeo supports it, guys. Yeah.
WTF, mate.
Yeah.
Do it.
But I couldn't upload it to Vimeo because there was no like hipstery weirdness in my video. It was just a normal video. I couldn't do it on Vimeo. They won't allow it.
Yeah.
There's something else I wanted to mention about this, but I've forgotten it now. 8K TVs, things. I don't know. Moving right along here. You want to talk about this?
Microsoft Live account credentials leaking from Windows
Well,
8 and above.
this is an error that's been around since 1997 in all Windows NT based machines. Just something that was discovered in 1997. So
it's a feature.
Yeah. The thing about this is that I think a lot of people are going to be making kind of a big deal of it. I mean, of course, it's a big deal because it's not been patched in all this time, but it's only leaking. It's just leaking your live username. I don't use a live account, and you shouldn't either. I don't use a live account, but it's not leaking. It's leaking your password, but hashed. So
that doesn't mean much.
I mean, they're still gonna have to try to crack it with brute force or something. But still, it shouldn't be leaking people's usernames. But people's usernames, you can walk by somebody's computer and see their username on top. So,
it's the password matched with the username. That's the issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a million usernames. It's fine. If you have a million password hashes, like, okay, well, you need to know which one goes to which.
We got some cable company shenanigans news to talk about. Washington State's suing Comcast for $100 million because of I guess they got this whole Consumer Protection Act going on in Washington, and they say Comcast has been misleading the customers. Not about internet speeds or anything like that. They didn't sue them because their service sucks, which it usually does. They didn't sue them for that. They sued them because they're making them buy this $4.99 insurance policy that says hey, if a guy comes to your house to do anything, as long as you're paying this $5 a month, you're not going to have to pay for it. But what they don't tell you is that doesn't count for anything that's any of the wiring inside in the walls of your house. It's pretty much only from the pole to your house. That's the only thing that you're going to get for free. But the script, and the state of Washington got their hands on the script from Comcast. The script said that whenever they call into the call center and stuff, the call center people sell it saying that it covers everything, including the wiring in your homes, but you sign up for it, and then your contract states it does not. But, when they talk to them on the phone, their script says it does. So that's why they're getting sued for $100 million, because it's per case, a couple $1,000 fine per case.
This just goes to show another one of those crazy little shisty things that Comcast does.
Yeah,
I hate you.
I think it's very interesting because there's all these different charges on your bill. You're like, oh, I got cable for $89, and you get your bill, and it's like $400. You're like, what is all this? And it was like, oh, there's the plumber's crack fee from when the guy came and installed it, and he had a plumber's crack. So plumber's crack fee. Then you got the I stepped on grass fee. If you have any yard and the guy has to walk into the yard, I stepped on grass fee. It's listed there. You can find it it should be on your bill if you have a yard. If you
this whole thing, all those fees, some of them are federal fees and some are for other things. But some of the other random fees that they get on there, they really do. It makes you wonder if they put them in there because they wanted to improve their bottom line without, you're not charging the customer more, but you're charging the customer more, but you don't actually have to provide anything extra.
And maybe they're
charging for nothing.
I wonder if they're I wonder if anyone at Comcast ever sits back and just goes let's see if anybody's paying attention, and just I don't know, make pseudo trans maintenance fee. What does that mean? Just put pseudo trans down and see if anybody notices. Is that a new term for Is that a new? Do we need a new pronoun for that? I don't know. I don't know. Just
put it on there.
Yeah.
Somebody yells about it, just silently take it away.
After about a month, they're like, shh.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the way it goes. So anyway, go get him, Washington State, and screw you, Mayor of Seattle, who signed an exclusive contract for a gazillion years with Comcast.
That right there should be a problem. But anyway, carrying on.
All right, more stuff here. Google is installing Google Fiber in Nashville. They decided this year, I believe in January, that they were going to install Google Fiber in Nashville, and they are having so much trouble getting access to the poles. A lot of the poles are owned by the city, but even the ones that are owned by the city or the city owned utility company, Google's having trouble with because AT&T and all the other companies have stuff there, and they're all fighting because they're like, no, Google can't touch our stuff, and they have to come out and move everything, but they don't want to come out to the poles and move their own stuff.
They just don't do it, or they're like, "Oh, we'll schedule it for next week," and then they never schedule it.
There's even a lot an allotted amount of time, but Google's it's going to take Google forever to do it now. So Google's like, listen, we're Google, let's just make a little thing where we can move their stuff around, and we all have access to these poles, and we can move the competitors' stuff so we can put ours there, right? And, of course, they're suing to say, no, they can't do that. So they're freaking out. So there's a big fight right now. And I can almost understand this one. But it's really
a semantics thing. Here's what needs to happen. Somebody out there who's got the ability to climb one of these poles, go out there in the middle of the night. I'm not
Move
actually
everything.
condoning any of this, and just start cutting cables. Because then someone's going to come and repair them all and rerun them. There's going to be a lot of very angry people in Nashville, and you know what? I totally understand their anger, but they'll be happy when Google's finally installed, and they're like, holy crap, you mean I don't have to use AT&T or Comcast anymore?
Well,
I do not condone the actions that I just suggested. But seriously, if somebody were just so happened to go and start chopping cables down at some of these poles,
wouldn't that be weird?
that would be so weird. And
I wouldn't give anybody an idea like that.
no, the problem really boils down is like if it's these cables are there and they're like, well, we have to move them, but we don't want to move them. You can't touch them; they're ours. And then they just, like I said, they're just beating around the bush to not actually do something.
I can almost side with them if that was the whole story, because they've got their cables installed there. If Google is moving them, and let's say they make AT&T's network go down for some reason, the cable something gets messed up, well, all the AT&T customers are going to be like, "What the hell, AT&T?"
And
They're not
totally
going to say,
get
"What
that.
the hell, Google?"
But the whole point, though, is that AT&T just needs to have a technician on hand that can go out while Google is putting their stuff in to come in and go, boop. And that way AT&T is held liable when that stuff kind of happens, and then, they're there
the thing,
already on hand.
I mean,
but they don't want to do that.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
they, like I
they're-
said,
they're
they'll schedule,
prolonging
like,
it
yeah,
as-
we'll have a guy there. And then the guy never shows up because they never actually scheduled the guy.
or they just prolong it as long as they legally can, which takes months. Because whenever the city gets a notification that Google needs access to that pole, the city notifies the AT&T or Comcast or whomever, and then whatever, and they say, "Hey, do this. You got 90 days." And then it's like, "Oh, we're gonna wait,
89
89
days.
and a half days, and then show up." So
And then do it on the 90th day.
So that's a big problem. So they need to figure that out, and we also have to look at this and realize that these companies do not want Google in there, so they're going to do everything they can. And the longer they can delay it, the better, number one. And number two, they're also going to start doing stuff like suing the local government like they did in Kentucky when Kentucky was like, "Oh, Google can move stuff around."
I mean, it can't we just like yell at them about this all being anti-competitive behavior? Well, we've already got competition. Yeah, well, you guys both suck, and it almost seems like you're in collusion with each other for sucking equally, or who can suck more.
Speaking of sucking, let's talk about sucking your battery down while also tracking you. So this is kind of an interesting thing. Your battery, right? It drains, and it can actually give some of that data to different websites and stuff. Say like, "Oh, this guy's battery is about dead. We can serve up a smaller version of this website, or a lighter weight version of the website." Like, you can actually grab that information from the user. But the only thing is like that information is so specific that you can almost get a pseudo, what's the word I'm looking for? A pseudo unique. Is that even a thing?
It's another chunk of metadata that basically can be used across a long enough timeline. You can be like, oh look, this is this person,
Right.
and you can track their location based on their IP address, what satellite or what cell towers are connected, what Wi-Fi they might be connected. All of that can be created to. It's just another piece of metadata.
It's an API it's part of HTML5. It's introduced in HTML5, and the thing is funny because when they made this for the batteries, and they're like, hey, we can get all this data, right? People looked at it and they were like, the security people looked at it and they're like, hey, someone might be able to use that to track. And I know the companies went, the security guy said we might be able to use that to track. Hire people, throw $1 million at it. You figure out how to make this track people. And sure enough, that's what's happening now. They're using this to track people.
And the other side of this is like, the idea behind this initially was probably like, hey, like you said, we can see if the person's battery's almost dead and feed them a lighter weight version of the website, or maybe a lower version quality of the YouTube video or whatever, all those things. And this boils back down to the road to hell is paved with good intentions. We're really trying to do the right thing. That's all that is. And now, anyway, moving along. Trogdor.
For
Burnate
president.
the country lane.
Yep, that's is what we need for president right here.
Heck yeah.
So I don't know who you guys are voting for, but I'm penciling in Trogdor.
I think you should all do that.
Let's start a movement. Pencil in Trogdor because fuck it. That's pretty much it. And everyone's like, there's me, this commenter, if you do that, Trump's gonna win. You're throwing away votes to a third party like the Burninator, the Homestar running for president. What am I talking about here?
I don't know.
It's before everyone's time. Maybe.
If it's not, go look it up. It's great stuff.
Donald Trump's going to crack down on internet porn. How's he going to do this? Well, he's going to put together a little committee first to figure out if it's damaging people.
Hold on a sec. I just want to be there when that selection is made. Who wants to be in the committee for checking out the internet porn? And no one wants to raise their hand, but everybody's like.
Whoever wants to be involved, raise one hand. It's like, I think they're gonna get Spider-Man to do it. You'll just sit there and watch it all day. With his hands in the laptop.
On the internet, nobody knows that you're a dog.
So
watching porn.
Of course, they've thrown out things like, hey, this is damaging to children. There's child pornography as well, and of course, the child pornography is not legal already. That's already like not legal. So of course we do need some sensible guidelines because certain types of materials harm the people that are in them, and there's things without consent and all that sort of thing.
But the thing is
those are breaking other laws.
Yeah, those laws are generally already in place. Heck, Avenue Q did this best. They blatantly made a song about this, and it was the internet's for porn. If you don't know that one, go look that one up. It's absolutely hysterical. But I don't know. I just don't understand why. Everyone looks for, enjoys, doesn't enjoy, they're offended by, whatever. Oh my God, I can't believe somebody's doing this. If there is an issue with, I think pornography in general is not a big deal. It's specific practices. It's like anything at all. iPhone's not really that big of a problem, and I'll say that. You can quote me on that. But when a whole bunch of people are being hurt because this thing exists, and it's not that, and that's that thing specifically. It's this twisty tie.
So figure out
that's a problem. That's
figure out who's selling those damn twisty ties or whatever.
It's like if the people making these twisty ties are tying them all together and hanging themselves, we need to stop and wonder why that's what's going on. I was like, well, make a machine that does it. It won't hang itself. But anyway, I'm getting a little crazed out here. But my point is, pornography as a concept isn't that big of a deal. Nude art, not a big deal.
There's plenty of pictures of Trump's wife naked on the internet. I just threw one on the screen to scare everybody for a second.
Yeah, we're gonna get in trouble with YouTube for that one.
Yeah,
because
it's censored.
Oh yeah. Well, even then, it's the whole point is that it's all over the place. When it's things like the iCloud crack or the iCloud hack that got all of those messages and those the selfie pictures, whatever, of those famous people that's wrong.
So
because that's no longer pornography. That right there is just flat out you're betraying someone's privacy. You're passing around stolen content.
Well,
there's.
I'm seeing sort of a parallel here between this and then the Conservatives over in the UK, David Cameron's commission and all that nonsense, where they were just talking a lot about child pornography and how damaging it was, and they need to lock down the internet. So they had, the blacklist for a little while, and now when you get a new SIM card, it's no longer a blacklist. There's a whitelist of sites that are okay, and so you don't even, when you get your SIM card, you don't even have access to the regular internet. Just here's your SIM card, and if you want access to the full internet, you're going to have to be like, hey, give me full internet access. Here's my ID. I'm of age, please. And they're like, oh, okay. So then, they're utilizing a whitelist over there. Age verification will get you access to the rest of the internet. But they've also, if you look at their rules now, it was, child pornography and all that stuff. And, one of the things that they want to disallow is esoteria. Just things that are just too esoteric. Is our website too esoteric for them? I don't know. Is it, what does that even entail? Anything they decide is weird. Oh, that's weird. Nope.
It's subjective.
Nope. It's weird. It's kind of freaking weird. We don't like that.
It's all subjective.
This is a website about flying frogs. Nope. No. Far too esoteric. But, I wonder if this is going to go in the same direction here, because companies benefit from this. Corporations and stuff can benefit from these things. So, is he going to work together with people and be like, hey, let's create a whitelist? And the reason that they benefit is because, if we have a whitelist, well, who gets on the whitelist? People going to call us and be like, hey, you guys want to be on the whitelist? For our web service? And I'm like, I don't know. Our website's pretty good. They're like, yeah, but you want to get on the whitelist, you got to give us $100. Well, how's it going to work? I don't know. Anyway, that's far off, but you got to watch the direction that things are going. Now, Trump's not going to get elected, right?
I don't know. Someone's going to get elected. I'm moving to Mars.
Yeah. This is an interesting article here on Tech Dirt. No matter who is our next president or whatever, no matter who next president, they won't understand technology.
This is actually something that I'm really interested in the context of the fact that, you look at the people who are, this doesn't matter, this is almost global. You look at the people who are elected, you have a couple of people who are very well in touch with modern age. And then you've got a whole stack of people who are not. I was laughing because I'm like, we're in our 30s. And there are people who are 10, 15 years younger than us.
I'm 59 and I've been drinking like the blood of the blood of the young ones for a while. That's what they call it.
We got to get them before they turn 21 in this country because you got to get them
old.
before they start drinking heavily.
I forgot how old I was now.
If you get them after 21, you just get drunk. When you
I've been 30-something for 30 years.
I won't tell you how old I really am. Anyway, so we appear to be in our 30s or so. And my point is that 10 years younger, 25, 20, 15, there are people who are very, very familiar with more modern advances in some of this technology. I mean, hell, there are people who are 19, 20 years old who are building websites that make ours look like nothing. You're going, man, we need to get on our game, don't we? I mean, it's kind of where it is that you look at the advancing in technology, and the internet didn't exist when we were really young. The internet didn't exist until these people were older than we are. The people who are currently in charge of everything. That's just why we have such a weird issue where we've got lobbyists coming in from over here, and these politicians are like, I don't know anything about that TCP internet protocol thing, but we should ban it because it's bad, because it's TCP. I mean, I don't know what 2T is, but he shouldn't be watching anybody pee. It's like, what?
What?
Exactly. It's like, I don't know. IP, UP, CP.
Just if you haven't seen it, just Google the Hillary Clinton Pokemon Go. Have you seen it? No. Her Pokemon Go thing where she's like, I don't know who made Pokemon Go, but I hope they can make Pokemon go to the polls.
That right there was one of the people who were writing
amazing.
her speech, and they added that in there. They're probably of the younger variety. They're probably college students, 20s.
She needs to fire him because you can't give her. She doesn't have a sense of humor.
Well, even if she doesn't have a sense of humor, it's like her saying that shows that she doesn't know what's going on. She's just reading somebody else's words.
I don't know. She might have looked at her. What if she just looked at her phone before she went up there and she was like, Pokemon Go, Pokemon. I've got a joke for that.
Now, that was actually something I saw. Before she said that, I saw articles about that where people were like, hey, can we just put a bunch of was it Pokestops or lures at poll stations when it comes time to voting? Because people just wander. If you accidentally wander into a voting booth, there's a few things I need you to know about.
We do that, Trogdor's going to win.
Mewtwo is going to win.
No Man's Sky. So there's a leaked version of this going around, like it's a disease. Oh man, I hope he didn't catch the No Man's Sky thing that's going around. Anyway, so someone pre-ordered the game and got the copy of it, and then it's been leaked and people have been grabbing it and playing it. So Jonathan White here took a look at it, and he's kind of upset. He doesn't seem to like it. Says it's kind of like they made it look like this giant, interesting thing that was going to be something, but it's not that. He says it's basically you just wander around in this giant world doing whatever. He said it's kind of boring or whatever. So he's upset. And there's a link here somewhere where the guys behind No Man's Sky have been warning people please do not spoil this game for others. And he's essentially saying yeah, they're saying that because they don't want anyone to know that the game sucks before it comes out. So he's.
So this is another one of those things.
He's like, oh, you saved me $60, but maybe he just doesn't like. What if he just doesn't like that type of game?
What if the copy that he got is incomplete? What if they did this as a test? And they put. This is one of those things.
They put no missions and no quests in there. They just made
it's like a barren game, or maybe there's some kind of back end hook to their servers that all that content is off right now, so it can play. You get in there and you play. Woo! It's $60 on GOG. I was actually looking at it earlier today. I'm like, I'm really thinking about buying this.
$60 now. It's like a kind of I'm gonna wait and see how this is. I'm glad that it came out on GOG. It's gonna be a nice DRM free game, but
and it's got a 30-day money back guarantee. So
30-day money back guarantee.
And a lot of that has to do with if it doesn't work, or I was looking at that. How does it?
And you have to play it for only a few hours. You can't play it.
You can't click on that. I was looking at.
Oh yeah, but I'm pretty sure for the 30-day money back guarantee, you can't have put 50 hours into it and then be like, well, my money back. They're like, well, you've
No, they
played
had
50 hours.
the way the one line that I read in there is that if there is some kind of technical complication with the game that it does not prevents you from completing it, or if there's some other kind of bug, or if it just doesn't work, you can get your money back on a lot of it. But yeah, if you play the game all the way to completion a couple of times, then you want your money back because you feel dissatisfied with the money spent. It's like,
so you're gonna go spend
No.
$15 for 2 hours of entertainment at the local movie theater, but you can spend $60 on 50 hours, and it's like, nah, I got ripped off. Like that's
I
that's
felt
not cool.
dissatisfied. It's like you buy a book, you read it, you're like, I don't like that ending. Can I have my money back? And I just sell the book or give it to a library. I think there's the whole refund policy, and a lot of this stuff drives me nuts. It's like, what happened to you buy something, if you don't like it, that's a travesty. If it's broken, you get your money back.
You know, like, isn't that how they're doing these DRM laden things on iTunes and Amazon Store, where you buy like a digital copy of something and that's it? You can't sell it. I mean, I guess there's.
I was having a conversation with a bunch of guys in our Discord the other day, and it was about this, about refunding, and like the idea behind a refund. And there's a lot of laws about refunds, but the idea here is that you're not actually getting anything. Like, you're not getting something. Like you're not buying something. It's an intangible, and the amount of money it takes to create this and then your phone, that costs the exact same for them to make this and then that one and whatnot. But for them to make 100 copies of a game, you make one, you put it on somewhere, and then the download cost, or the amount of, like, the cost of bandwidth and the hosting cost to have that there and to be able to serve that up, like using it on Steam or GOG, it's minuscule by comparison to the actual manufacturing cost of a box and a DVD and whatnot and all that kind of jazz. And that was generally why a lot of your console games were usually more expensive, because it didn't.
The cartridge and everything else.
Yeah, everything, all of that manufacturing costs and
packaging.
shipping and all that stuff. There's a lot goes into that. But the refund policy is that, like, if the game is broken, like you buy a game and it does not operate as described, or it prevents you from finishing the game. Like when I first got Shadowrun, there was a bug in the game. I got halfway through the game and I came across this bug and I couldn't do anything like I wanted to. And there was a patch out. And unfortunately, because of the nature of the patch, the save
Did it
game...
kill your save game?
It was going to kill the save game. And that's an unfortunate side effect. And I'm like, that sucks. Because now I have to go back and go through the whole game again. But I also... and that's a thing. But it was a bug. And it's like, they fixed it. Unfortunately, my time spent in it was lost, and I have to do it all over again. But now I know a bunch more about the game, and I can go back through it. And I finally finished it. It was pretty awesome. But if they didn't have that patch out, I could have got my money back, because I'm like, I can't get past this. This doesn't work. Can I have my money back? In which case, then I'm not going to play it again anyway. So, but if they fix it, and that's the other thing, is that they'll work with you to try to get it fixed. I don't know. Back
to No Man's Sky. If the game does come out and it absolutely sucks and everyone hates it, there's still Freespace 2. What was that? There's still Freespace.
Freespace.
I can't even do it.
Freespace 2.
Yeah.
Part 2. It's actually a really good game. It's really great. I had a lot of fun.
Probably one of the best space RPGs ever.
And it's only $10.
You can probably get it for even cheaper than if it's on sale, but yeah, $10 DRM free. And you can actually go ahead and patch this up and mod it up to improve the textures, lighting effects, explosions, pretty much everything. So...
I don't know. When I see things about, like, that article, No Man's Sky is bad because it's whatever, I just kind of shake my head, because it's like, the game's not out yet. I mean, hell, how many games do we have? How many games do we know? Like, look, the EA even did this. Wasn't it like the latest Assassin's Creed, where they put in a patch that didn't allow you to... There was a written bug that caused you not to be able to adjust the screen resolution or the field of view in the game until you installed it first day and got the 0-day patch.
Yep.
That basically unlocked it to prove that you bought it. I'm like, that's brilliant.
Sneaky and all that stuff. I mean, I'm all for DRM free, but...
I mean, of course, a week later it came out and it was, oh yeah, by the way, you didn't buy this game because you would have got the patch that would have fixed that.
You know what's funny though? I think my favorite story in all this was there was that game. I forgot the name of the game. It's an independent game about making your own games. It was like a game dev simulator or whatever. And they released a version onto like the Pirate Bay and stuff like that. And if you pirated it, every time you played the game, you would fail due to piracy. Like, you could not get your game published, and you could never make enough money. Or you would get your game published, but you could never make enough money, and you could never succeed, because it was just programmed that piracy would always defeat you. And I was like, wow. So people will sit here and play this game over and over and be like, God damn it. Every time
This game sucks. Piracy always gets it. You know, that's the other problem I think I have is when, and the thing is, they will get onto the game developers forum
and be like, this game sucks.
Or they'll get onto the Steam and be like, this thing doesn't work. This is stupid.
Well, you know those indie developers are just dying laughing.
Of course, because they're like pirate. I'm not saying you guys are stealing it. I'm saying you're pirating it. I think there's a major distinction between the two of those things. But I wonder if that's an issue with No Man's Sky. It's like, oh, there's nothing here. This is all kind of dumb and terrible, blah. I'm like, what if that's intentional for the moment? Because the game doesn't go live for another week.
Could be. This guy could be writing an article, putting his foot in his mouth. You know, when we release the Zweihander game, we should just make all of the textures penises for the pirated version. Just throw it online and just not say anything and see if anyone notices.
No one's going to say, this game is pornographic.
This is
That's
weird.
what we get in trouble for.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Donald Trump will be like, that's a terrible game, and he'll be playing it at home. Yes. All right, we'll see you guys later. We got to go to talk to the KB Mod guys. So, is that a secret or not?
I don't know.
We'll hang out, have a beer with them. So, anyway, comment. Thanks for all the support and buying stuff and all that stuff. The new office is almost a thing. We've got one of the desks here. It's so close. And we got internet being installed in about a week.
After I get back from QuakeCon, we're putting it in.
Yeah, so
I've got a ton of footage.
Like, give him a moving meme.
I don't know, a moving meme.
Moving, no, like moving. So they can go into the goddamn lounge and just say like, so when's things moving? What happened to this video? Moving.
This took a lot longer than we anticipated, and we're sorry. But that's really what it boils down to. There was a lot of things that happened between beginning and now, and we're here. We're at that cusp. I'm hoping that what happens is all of this stuff gets laid out, everything gets put in place, the floodgates open, and everyone can cheer. And we can have people buy. We can, have some soda. We'll have some soda water for you all.
If the devil showed up and he gave me a choice between moving again or reverse circumcision, I don't even know what that is, but I'd take the reverse circumcision. See you guys later.